Okay guys, this is just going to be a overview of your rowing monitors. This is a Concept 2 PM4. So yeah, there's older monitors, there's newer monitors. They're all pretty much the same. If you get the idea with this one, you'll be able to figure yours out. If you got a Concept 2 rower, use it because they're much better than all the rest of them. Okay, so whenever you're doing a workout, make sure you set it in the rower. Don't just hit just row because you can't go back in and get the metrics and results from it. Make sure you actually set the workout in the rower. Okay, so to do that, you hit select workout. Now there's a whole heap of different ones. So the standard list, you just got the standard 2,000 meter row for time. And if you click one of these, it's just going to have that 2,000 meters up, and it's going to count down. Once you get to 0, it's going to store your results. And again, a 30-minute one. Okay, custom list is just a couple of different interval type ones. If you want to do a marathon row, that's there too. And don't worry about the re-row for now, but now there's also new workout, and this is most probably the one that you're going to use every time you set up your rower. So if you click on that, now this first one is a single distance. So say if you're doing 1,000 meters for time, you'd click that one. Single time, if you're doing a 10 minutes for max distance, you'd click on that one. Now this interval distance, that's if you're doing the same distance on each interval. So if you did five lots of 500 meter row with a 2-minute rest, you'd click on that one. And when you go into it, it's pretty much you just set your distance, set your rest time, and that's just going to repeat over and over and over until you finish. Okay. With the interval time one, that's the same, but just with the time. So you can set, minute on, minute off, and it's just going to repeat over and over until you finish. Okay. And then there's the intervals variable. So this one, it's when you're going to set up, one interval might be 1,000 meters on, 2 minutes rest. The next one might be a 750 meter row with a 1 minute rest. That's the one that you use there. So you can set the distance. If you click the distance, okay, you're going to do 500 meter, 1 minute rest. And then you hit a tick. And then for the interval 2, you continue on until you're finished and you hit the no more intervals. Okay, so that's a rundown of how to set up your actual workouts. Now, once you've finished your workout, if you set them up this way, they're going to be stored in here. So if you want to redo a workout that you've done previously, you can hit this re-row and you can see the workout. So I did a 15-minute row there. Okay, if I wanted to do that one again, it's already set up in there. So I just click that one. So that's really good if it's a pain in the ass to set up some interval ones and they're already in there. So you just click the re-row. All right, but what I want to show you is this is a really good way to just get the results, because sometimes you're wrecked at the end of the workout and you couldn't be bothered writing down your results. They are stored in here. So you go into this re-row and you make sure that arrow is on the one that you want to look at. And then you click the magnifying glass, okay? And it brings up all this information. So this, yes, it was a 15-minute row. I hadn't done intervals, but it was set to store, to log my split over every 3 minutes. As you can see here, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, okay? Now the main information's up here for the 15-minute row. I got 3,863 meters and an average pace of a minute 56.4. Okay, and that was my stroke rate. So this one here is really important. This is your average pace. So that's the speed that you are rowing. So in running, it's per kilometer. In swimming, it's per 100 meters. But with rowing, it's per 500 meters, okay? That is the speed that you rowed this. So if you were to re-row this, and I'll show you what to look for on your screen, but that's the speed that you want to be rowing at, or a little bit. So you just go, a minute 55 speed, the pace over the 500 meters, so that you can actually beat those meters, so that you're not just sort of trying to go quicker than what you were before. You actually know you are going quicker than what you were before. Okay. So that's a rundown of that, and it'd be the same like if I was to go down to the 2,000 meter row. So if I went to the 2,000 meter row, same sort of thing. So it's broken down into splits. Now, if you had done intervals, it'll show you intervals up there. So each and every interval. So it saves you getting off the rower, writing it down, coming back to it, and starting. You can just wait till the end, click on the info, and you can write it all down at the end, or just take a picture, whichever way and it just comes up with it all there. Okay, now when you're actually rowing, so you've got a workout, you've got it set up, this is the screen that I want you to be using, okay? The majority of my workouts will be in a distance base, so you can do it in calories as well, but the measurement I like to use is distance, just because it's much easier. It's just easier to use rather than calories. They can be a bit funny to try to pace. But yeah, so to get this screen up, to make sure it's in meters, you change the units. So as you can see, it cycles through a couple of different units: watts, calories, and then meters. All right, and the display will just change your display. So that's how much force you're putting into each stroke. That you can set up a pace mode if you want to, how many watts you're rowing each row, and that's just a basic metric one. But you want this one up there, because this one, if you look at it, so whenever you're rowing, it's going to have a couple of different things up there. So it'll have your meters counting down, whatever distance you've put on there, or your time counting down, whatever time you've put up there. But this one here, so this is really important. So this pace one here per 500 meters, like I said, it's your speed. But this one, see how there's two different ones? So this one here is your instant speed. So that is the speed that you are rowing on that stroke that you just did. Okay, so that is your instant speed. So that can fluctuate up and down. You try to keep it pretty even, but it can fluctuate each stroke depending on how hard and how far you pull that the handle for that individual stroke. Now this one is your average pace over the whole interval, over the whole distance that you're doing, the whole time that you're doing. So that one's really important too, because you want to get that one down to to whatever pace that you want to have over that whole workout. So if I did a 2K, so previously if I did a 2 kilometer row and I did a pace at a minute 50, my average pace, so when I looked into the info, it had an average pace of a minute 50. What I want to do is I want to use this for my instant speed to try to get it down to 149, but I want to be keeping an eye on this, because this is the important one. If that goes down to a 149 average over the whole thing, then I'll end up doing that 2 kilometer row quicker. Hopefully that makes sense for you, because this one, it can fluctuate up and down. You can, you could be rowing a little bit slow on a couple of strokes and then you row really quick, but this one is the one that ends up averaging out. Okay. All right. So that's, great. All right. Well, that's pretty much it anyway. So, setting up your intervals or any type of row, make sure you actually set it in that select workout part. Don't just use the just row. You can use that for warm-ups or whatever, but actually set the intervals or the workout into the rower. Looking at your results, going to that re-row and hitting that magnifying glass. And then when you're actually rowing, make sure you've got this screen up and keeping an eye on the pace, the instant pace and the average pace. And whenever you are recording your workouts, now, if you're doing a distance-based one, so if you did a 2 kilometer row for time, I want to know what time you did it in, so that'll be up there, and I want to know the average pace that you did it in. Okay, and like I said before, you can find all of that info. Yeah, if I go down to this 2 kilometer one, I can easily see all of that info there. So the time that I did it in and the average pace. So now that when you redo it, you go back in and you're going to do your row. You want to be trying to get that down to the minute, a couple of seconds quicker, making sure that average comes down over the whole workout. That won't come down straight away, because it'll eventually come down just because it calculates it over a certain distance. So yeah, eventually that'll come down to a minute 49 and you'll end up doing a quicker row. So that's the same with all your workouts. Okay. That's the importance of keeping a log of all your results too, because you can always just go that little bit quicker right from the start. Okay, guys. 10 minutes worth of talk on a rowing monitor, but hopefully this helps you out and it gives you a bit more of an idea of what to look for in the rowers. Okay. See ya.